So I'm going to go to the online office as we speak, and this is your Florida online office. And when we look at the online office, it may look a little bit different because I have some extra buttons here. When I click administration, you're going to see some things that you may not see in your online office. So no worries if it looks a little bit different. It's going to be pretty much the same in a lot of ways. And so right now I'm on what's called the dashboard. And just to keep it simple, if ever you're inside of one of these other tools and you want to get back to the dashboard, just click the dashboard and you'll be kind of at the hub of everything that is technology and marketing is right here. So really, this is really the hub for you guys. It's not anything that's displayed to the public. It's the back office, online office for CB Florida Homes, but it also is back office for the marketing and technology that we provide and have access to. So if I scroll down sort of down to the bottom, there are links that lead to other services that we provide, such as CB Exchange. That's the back office for Coldwell Banker. We have listing to leads. We're going to have a training program just on that alone. Zap is another tool that we have linked here, as well as List Hub. So again, this is the hub of everything that we have, and we're going to be talking about a lot of these. This is kind of the navigation bar right here. The navigation bar, we're going to talk about some of the items here and how they relate to doing real estate too. So the most important thing we're going to talk about here, first and foremost, is administration. This is the first thing that you want to make sure that you have everything right here inside of your user administration page. So inside of this user administration, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that you have all your phone numbers correct, and you're going to want to make sure that your picture is the way that you want your picture to be. Right now I'm on Lisa's panel just because it's probably, well, for one thing, she's a lot better looking than me. No, but this will make it easier as an agent for you to see what you can do. So make sure your telephone numbers are right. Make sure your cell number is here. Make sure that everything looks right. Some of the things you can change your password here if you want to. You type it in twice and hit save right there. So that's something you can do as well. Your title, you can change that if you want to. I don't think that you want to mess with any of this stuff, and I don't think you can because it's probably grayed out. Um, and so going down a little bit further, you can either use the integrated email system, which is your CB Florida Homes email. I mean, cbsmfl.com is what I should say. That is your email address that's inside of this system. You can either use that integrated system that's here, or you can forward this email address to a primary email address that you may use, whether it's Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, whatever the case may be. You can forward to that email address. Make sure if you do that, then you hit save up here too. So anything you change here, make sure you hit save. That's kind of the big thing. Just a couple of other things that you may want to take a look at is, the detail tab. Make sure that you have, I don't think you can change this because it's probably going to be grayed out, but if you see a mistake here, you're going to want to change it. So this connects you, this is called Lag ID. Listing Agent Identifier is what this is. So this is your MLS, this is your MLS ID. This is what connects you and your listings to your page, your website. So kind of a critical thing to have it right. If you see that there's something wrong here, then you're going to want to let your admin know. That would either be Deb or Lori, or you're going to want to let somebody know. Maybe I think Terry Hoyle may have access to this. These are things that you may want to make sure that are right, which are probably okay anyway, but it's something that you may want to take a look at. I think that's all we're going to talk about with regard to administration. Basically, it's the contact info that you have there. Make sure that it looks okay. We're going to go now into Website Builder. Okay, so you're typically just going to click Website Builder here. I've got a few different clicks to do here to get to this page, so I'm going to do that right now. Okay, we're going to take a little bit of time on this Website Builder. And by the way, you can change your photo here. You can change it at the administration page too, whichever you'd like to do. and we're going to take a little bit of time with Website Builder. Now this, whatever we change here, is going to be live on your cbfloridahomes.com / first name last name page. So hopefully you can see that I'm on Lisa's page right now, and we'll go back to the admin site. So inside of this page, you have some tabs here that you can click on. The Set Your Look tab, if you want to, you can change. Excuse me. You can change whatever this look is. So right now we have a picture here, of some homes in Florida. You have some other choices here, like of the ocean, of the beach, family. You can change this to whatever you think is best for your market. Now, the cool thing is too, if you want a background, custom background that's your photo, maybe you have an aerial photography photo, or you have a photo that's kind of special to your area, like if you're in Punta Gorda, maybe you have a picture of Punta Gorda that you'd like to use, just make sure that you give this picture to someone who has higher level admin access. So again, that would be your Lori Bradley, it's going to be Deb, um, it's going to be, it could be me as well, or Carrie, and we can change that photo out for you lickety split. And so it's a matter of us just changing it right here, and then you'll have a specialized look. Now, I'll show you an example of what that would look like. Go to my website here in Michigan. So this is my website with a customized picture, and this picture is an aerial shot of Traverse City. So when people come to my website, they can relate to that and say, yeah, that's Traverse City, that's really cool. So again, that's just something you can do. You can have your own customized look and feel there for your page. All right, now we're going to go into this tab right here, customize your settings. Now, what do we do here with these settings? This is a good question. Once you make these changes, they're live immediately, and it's kind of important to make some adjustments here because it really does help your SEO. So I'm going to show you some changes that I would make here, but I'm not going to make these changes permanently. But for example, your title. I highly recommend that your title relates to search phrases that customers will search for in your area. So, for example, I would have here, if I was in Punta Gorda homes for sale. Okay, and then maybe I would have a line here, and then have a maybe my name. So Lisa Wargo, then maybe another line, and then maybe waterfront or oceanfront, whatever. I don't know how you guys word that. Waterfront homes for sale, and maybe it'd be Port Charlotte. To just, again, I'm just taking a stab at this, guys. So whatever you want there. My suggestion is that you don't make this about you very much. So yeah, it's going to have Lisa's name there, great, but make it more about the searchability aspect of it. So now, if I highlight this and copy it, then I can paste it over in the title tag too. And I would even add this to the meta description, which is kind of invisible to you, or invisible to the consumer, but it's sort of in the background. So this is like invisible data, invisible description of who you are and what your website is about. And I would add the search heading, I would have the same thing. So those are, I think these are really key to being SEO friendly for your area. And then once you've made these changes, hit save. Now I'm not going to hit save because I don't know if Lisa wants me to do that, so I'm going to leave that not saved right now. All right, now you can add your Zillow screen name. That'll allow you to add website modules like reviews of Zillow. That'd be a good thing to do. If you have another website that you've developed that you want people to click that's outside of this website, you can do that too. So not everybody has that, but if you do have that, you can make that a feature. Um, I don't like to do a targeted audience. I just like to keep this no specialty, personally. Um, I do like to allow texting. So for example, I think I'm going to navigate off this page for a second. And I'm just going to copy a phone number real quick here. So what it would be good to have your cell phone number there in that spot that I was just at. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to copy Lisa's cell phone number. I'm going to pop on over to Website Builder again. And then we're going to add this phone number there. We're going to allow text. And I think it's safe to say that we can save that. All right, and most of the time when you make these changes, they're pretty much live like right away. Sometimes they take a minute. But as you can see, now if someone's on Lisa's page, they can send a text message. And so that's kind of cool to have that there. Because, let's face it, some consumers like to text, some like to call, some like to email. We need to be masters of all of these different types of communications and provide those types of communications to everybody that we work with. So in my opinion, I think you do need to make that live. All right, so I think we've pretty much covered this. I mean, you do want to add your Facebook page, that is your business page, your Twitter page, LinkedIn if you have that, Google Plus if you have that, Pinterest, etc. Do add these URLs, and it'll just make you look more professional. In some cases, you may only have 2 or 3 of these. That's fine. Just add them, and then you'll have a professional-looking page. If you speak another language, you can add that language to the mix, and it'll show that language there. So make sure that you do that too. Okay, so we're still on website. We're on Website Builder. We've talked about the look of your page. If you want a custom picture, you can do that. Just make sure that you give it to someone who has super admin ability like myself. And make sure that it's going to be 1600 by 1200 pixels. As long as it's larger than that, we have the ability to make it the right size. You just want to make sure that it looks really good. We talked about that. We talked about customizing the settings. These are some global settings for your website that you're going to want to change. Make sure that they're SEO friendly. Make sure that they're not so much about you, although they can be, but they're about searchability. So be sure to make those changes. Make sure you hit save. Now we're going to talk about building the actual home page. So these are compartments inside of your page that you can add that'll make your page look better. Okay, so you add modules. It's pretty simple to do. If you want to add a new module, you simply do that. The module could be testimonials. It could be communities. So if you have like certain communities that you work in, you can add that. So you can just hit next. Now you've added communities. So just adding modules is pretty simple. This module right here has some search in it, which is kind of cool. So a lot of times, when agents first start out, especially new agents, they may not have a lot of listings. So it's good to add these search buttons here so that consumers can go to a certain search that you have and they become sticky to you. So for example, in the case of Lisa, if I go to her page and I'm a consumer and I search for, this is one of her specialties, I click this, and as a consumer I click this, and then I want to see this property that's 5 million, which most people could just put that on a credit card, right? They click this page, now she becomes sticky to the consumer. It almost looks like it's her listing, even though of course it's not. It's courtesy of a different company. But if they request more information now, Lisa is going to get the lead. It's going to go to her email address, which is really, really cool. That's what you want to happen. It's going to go to her page. So rather than go into how do we create these links, I'm going to show you, and by the way, we can create these links for you too if you'd like, but inside of your online office, we're going to get to Resource Center kind of at the very end, but there are videos on how to do some of these things. So one of the videos that's right here is how to create sticky search links. And so this is like maybe a 5-minute video about how to make those links just like you saw on Lisa's page. So you can make those links for yourself. So again, that is part of the website builder program that you have access to. So going back to, I'm going to go back to website builder here so I don't get too much on a tangent. All right, customize your settings. Build your home page. So this is like side modules that are on the side of your page. So if I wanted to add, let's just go to, do a search for Punta Gorda, Florida Chamber, right? And so a lot of customers that go to your site, they're going to want these links to it, especially if they're traveling from out of the area. They don't really know, what Punta Gorda is all about. So they may want to have these links that are accessible from your page that they would desire, they would want to go to and find out about the chamber. So if you want to do that, you could add a module and you could do a custom link, and then you hit next, and then you make sure that you put your link inside of here, and then this is the link text is going to say chamber Punta Gorda Chamber. All right, if I spell this wrong, spelling was not my forte, so please bear with me as I try to type. And now you've added that page, you hit save. And then if I go back to Lisa's page and I refresh the page, that should be there somewhere. Or no, maybe it's up here. Here we go. Sometimes these changes do take like 15-20 minutes to appear. Okay, here we go, chamber, Punta Gorda Chamber. Click it, make sure it goes to the right place, and it looks like it is. All right. So again, that's building your homepage. You can add more and more modules if you want to. You could add a let's say a content section, and in the content section, you make the title. You can just say professional background. Okay, and then you would type your professional background. You would just type that in there, and then you would just hit OK at the bottom. Sometimes you won't see the save button, so you're like, how do I save this? Well, once you type this in, once you get it all done, just scroll down and you'll see OK. And you just click OK and then save. So make sure you click OK and then save in a lot of these modules that you add. So let me just go to add modules, see if there's anything else. Designations, you can add your designations. You can add your listings if you have listings that are out there. Some agents, when they start, they don't have any listings. They're not going to want to add that. If you add listings, okay, you hit next. Then you just click OK, and boom, those listings are right there. Let me see if there's anything else. Communities. Slideshow, if you have some pictures that you want to show, you can do that. A YouTube video, if you have a YouTube video of yourself, you can add that there. And that's pretty much it. I think we covered that pretty well. So that's Website Builder. You can add more pages. Add a page, maybe it's a testimonial, blank page, my listings. select your search area. So what does this mean, select your search area? When people go to your website, which I will go back here, and they hit search. Let's say they don't put anything in here and they hit search. This is your search area. It's going to show like the map of the area that you set up. So that's what this means. Inside of search area, there's a box here that's been created. And it does, if you change this, it will take about 20 minutes to update. So don't be discouraged if you make a change and it doesn't update right away. It does take some time for some reason. Don't ask me why. But you can make this as big as you want. You can make it as small as you want. You can hone it in. You can zoom in, see what it looks like. You can zoom out. You can pretty much make it any way that you want. All right, directory introduction. This is just, again, if people search for you on cbfloridahomes.com, this will be what you want to add. Some text here for people to find you. This is the directory that's on CB Florida Homes if someone were to search for you somehow. That pretty much summarizes everything that Website Builder is about. It is an overview. It's pretty in-depth though. I've got pretty deep there. So again, don't be overwhelmed by it. Once you make these changes, you set it, you forget it, you're done. And then there's very little reason to come back and change things unless you need to add a testimonial or you need to change something. Pretty much everything is pretty much set. So very, very cool to do that. All right, I'm going to go back to the dashboard. Always click the dashboard button if ever you want to get back to like the hub. That's what you want to do, is go back to clicking dashboard. Now, I want to say that leads and stats, don't use leads and stats. There's no reason to really go here because we have a better formula for leads and stats, and that is ListHub. So a lot of this is reporting of your listings. It's really not working very well. It's really been eclipsed by ListHub, which we will go over in a future training in the weeks to come. I forget what day it is, but ListHub is going to be the thing you're going to want to use because it automates the process of sending reports on your listings to sellers, and that's the biggest part of ListHub is the ability to send your sellers reports, which is huge. I mean, when I go over that, you're just going to see that it's such a great thing to have for us as a company because that's the biggest complaint that a seller would have is the agent listed my property and never heard from him or her. Well, ListHub is going to take away all of that pain, and you'll see why as we go through that. Okay, now we're going to go to Customer Connect. Now, Customer Connect is a relative service. In other words, it's sort of relative. It's been a little bit eclipsed by or replaced with Zap, which we have a whole day on Zap, a whole hour and a half on Zap. So don't worry about some of the things in Customer Connect. You're not going to need to worry about. There are some things here that you do need to maybe use, and so I want to go over that. What is the part of it that you want to use? Well, Zap, the thing about Zap is that Zap does not have print. It doesn't have a whole lot of print stuff, whereas your Customer Connect will have some print stuff. Customer Connect does have some e-marketing stuff, but a lot of the e-marketing that we do is going to be from either Zap or it's going to be from e-marketing inside of your CB Exchange. So I do want to go over some of this with Customer Connect, but we're not going to go over a ton of it. Just what I would use, and then so you can see that some of it is broken down into using Zap as opposed to Customer Connect. So when it comes to Customer Connect, you have contacts, you have Marketing Center. Those are kind of the two things that you're going to deal with for the most part. If you're going to do any marketing, what do you have to have first before you can market to people? You have to have their contact info. So therefore, it's important that when you go into contacts, that you add contacts here. So if I want to do like a quick ad, all I do is add them really quickly. So let's just say, let's see, John Johnson. Email address is johnjohnson at bigtable.com. I'm just making this stuff up, so don't worry about it. Phone number, let's just say 941-941-9419. Okay, so let's just say that that's there. Now, I could go into detailed, and I could add a lot more detail, or I could just do quick add. So I'm going to do quick add, and now he's been added that quickly. So again, if I was filling this out and I wanted to get into more detail, all I would do is click that detail, and then that would give me a whole lot more to add to that. But for now, you can see how that was just added really, really quickly. Now, let's just say that I wanted to add some sort of bulk email list, or a bulk list of people. So I would go to Contacts, click that, and then go to Manage Contacts here on the right. And if you don't see this, you just have to click, I think you just click Contacts like maybe once, and then maybe click it again over here, but you'll see it. Manage Contacts, and then let's import. Okay. Now, first thing is, step one is upload a file. So we're going to go choose File. We're going to choose, see here, Desktop. We're going to choose a small file that's here, Open. So now I have that file right there. I go to Next. And then I want to make a new list. Let's just say that I want to call this, let's just say a subdivision in Florida that I've got here. Let's just call it Chelsea Park. Okay, and I hit save. And now I hit continue. So now, so think about this. You have a list that you've uploaded, and now the system has the list, but it doesn't know what the fields mean. So you have to drop down menu to these fields. So this is the first name. Over here we need last name, McCarthy. Okay, we're going to scroll down, and we need the primary street. So we need the primary street address, which in this case is 2099 Aaron Street. We need the primary city, which is Port Charlotte. We need the state, which is Florida. Remember, we're talking about print marketing, so we need the address, right? And then we need the postal code, the zip code. And that's pretty much all we need for now. If I had the email address, I would add that, but in this database, I don't have the email address. So if you're importing from, let's say, Zillow, which we recommend that you would do that mainly for Zap, but let's just say you got into this, you wanted to use this for your marketing, you could import a database from Zillow, which would likely have the email address. You would just simply find that email address in this data, and then it would map out correctly. But now I have everything I need here, so if I hit next, it's going to give me a sample of the data that I'm going to import. So I have Charles and Linda Sims, Ron and Jacqueline Colburn, and I scroll down here, and now I have their address. So that all looks good. So then I would hit next, and now as I hit next, now it's actually importing the data and mapping it out correctly. And it just said you just imported 50 contacts. Click OK. So now if I go to my contacts, I go to my list, I have Chelsea Park right there. So these are all Chelsea Park. If I had that list of addresses, I would just import it right just like that, lickety split. All right, so that's contacts. That's how to add one contact one by one. You can also import contacts from any source. If you do import, you need to kind of map it out, select those fields to tell the system what the fields mean. So that's how you do that. Now we're going to go over to Marketing Center. Once we've added contacts, now we're ready to do some marketing, right? So we're going to go over to Marketing Center. And basically there's e-marketing, there is print marketing, and then there's email letters. There's also print letters. So it's kind of broken up into different parts, and we're just going to take a look at a couple different examples of what you could do. So let's just take, let's say I wanted to do some labels. Okay, the database that I just created, I could do labels with that, so I just click labels. And then I want to do the Avery labels that are 30 per page. That's the most common labels that you'll ever deal with, so I'm going to just choose that. And I'm going to personalize and print. And I've got to choose myself here. Okay, now you can either add contacts in one by one, or you can also look for contacts here. But let's just go to the database that we created, Chelsea Park. We're going to click add, or the plus sign over here, which is going to add all of those addresses down below. So now if I hit next, after I've added those, it's going to then create the labels. So now I can look at these labels and I can just export it as a PDF and then print it out on my printer. And again, it shows you the name, the first name, the address, the cities, state, zip. Everything is right there and ready to go. All right, so I'm going to go back to Marketing Center. And let's just say that you wanted to do an e-marketing campaign. Let's say maybe it's just a greeting card of sorts. So I would click that. And then I would choose, and there's a lot of agents that do these. They set up sort of like campaigns where they send these out periodically. So let's just say that my clients closed on a house, and I wanted to congratulate them on their house. Maybe it's the first time they bought a home. So this is kind of what it looks like. And so I can personalize and send it. So I click myself, hit next. Now the idea is that there is a message here. So then I would have a little message here. Hey dude, cool house. No, I would write something a lot better than this, but you know, we're just kind of trying to illustrate here. So then you just type your message right there. And then from there, you would hit next. And then you would hit next, and you want to choose recipients. So now you would either choose a database that has email addresses, or I'm just going to choose myself here, hit add. So now I have one person that I'm going to email this to, and then I would hit next. Okay, so here's the cool thing about this too, is it kind of shows you what the message looks like. I should have put the word dear in there, dear Fred. So I had the salutation, but I needed to change that. So I can just go back here to message, and I think I can just add dear, and then next, 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 and hopefully that changed. Yep, dear Fred. So it added the word dear there. So it merges all that stuff for you. Now think about this. If you were sending out, let's just say it was some sort of a holiday greeting, or you know, something else, maybe it was some kind of an anniversary, you could send it later and choose the date that you want that sent. And then the time even. So you can change what time that you want that sent. So this is why it's cool to kind of set this stuff up for later. And so it doesn't mean that you have to send this out right now. You can set it and forget it, so that it'll be sent out just before that holiday, just before that anniversary of theirs, and then it'll get to them exactly when it's supposed to. So once I have this all set, then I say, check the box that says I have reviewed the content of this email, and then I hit send now, and I send it now. And it's just that simple. So now that message has been sent. So that is kind of a synopsis of Marketing Center. You can do a custom email to people if you want to. You can customize that email to a group of people. Maybe you want to tell them some sort of tip of sorts. Maybe it's current sellers and tips for staging their home. You could also do a custom email that has that in it. So really, the sky's the limit. So that's Marketing Center. Now we are going to see if I covered everything here. I think that's pretty much it. That's good for Marketing Center. You may have some questions. That's fine. We're going to move into the next item, which is properties. So when you click properties, what you're going to see is all of the listings that you have. Now I have a view of all the listings in the company, but when you click it, you're going to just see your listings there. And if you need to make changes to those listings, you can do that. So let's just click this listing here. And this listing has the comment section there. Now you can add to that comment section. So whereas you're limited in your MLS as far as how much you can write, how many characters you can put in there, you can add much more to this. If you do make a change to that, make sure that you hit save, and then that'll be saved. Now sometimes if you make changes, most of the time if you do make changes here to the listing, to an individual listing, you may need to change the way the MLS updates. And most of the time you're going to do price and status with photos or without photos. So if you are changing photos, let me just go to Property Showcase here. Let's say that you have, because these photos are taken from MLS, so they're not as probably high quality as they could be, because the MLS, they crunch stuff down, they make photos, not very, very good. So a lot of agents, when they get to this Property Showcase page, they remove all their photos and then they re-upload all the photos in one fell swoop. So with a click of a mouse, you can remove all your photos. Whoops, I'm going to hit cancel there. And with a click of a mouse, you can then add all the photos that you want. Now, if you add, in this case, 25 high definition photos, and by the way, you can add up to 50 photos, I think, here. You can add 50 photos. Now, if you do add 50 photos all at one time, which you can do, it will take a little while to do that. So you may want to go make a pot of coffee. If you do that, you may want to go do some other things on a different tab as you await those photos uploading. It does upload pretty quickly, but it may take some time if you're uploading multiple photos that are huge. So if I just click on this photo, for example, this picture is pretty decent, but it's telling me that these photos are not 1024 by 768. They're actually smaller than that. So again, the MLS really shortchanges us when it comes to our photos, and it would be good to probably change out some photos, especially if you have a high-end listing. So the reason that I talked about that is because in the General tab, if you make any changes to photos, you're going to want to do price and status without photos. So all that means is that, think about this, every day the MLS is going to update our listings. Every day it's updating listings because the status of the property, maybe it's under contract right now. If you do price and status without photos, which is what a lot of agents do, that means that I don't want my photos to be changed here because I just changed them to high def. I don't want the MLS to overwrite it with bad photos. But I do want, if there's a price change in MLS, I want that price change to, if this goes to 1.3, I want the price to change to 1.3 here. If its status changes, it goes under contract, I want the status to change here. But don't change my photos without photos. All right, so that's what that means. If you don't touch your photos, that's fine. It may just be price and status with photos, which means you've changed photos inside of your MLS. They will then propagate to your CB Florida Homes website. So that's properties. There are a few other tabs here that you may want to take a look at, like details, like is this really 5 bedrooms, 4 baths with 1.5 bath? Um, was it built in 2004? Probably this is all accurate, but you just want to take a look at this, make sure it's okay. Is the lot size 2.8 acres? Great. If it is, terrific. If you need to change stuff, go ahead and change it. MLS history shows you when the last update was. All right. I think that's pretty much covers properties pretty well. And again, if you have any questions when we get to the end, be sure to ask. Let's talk a little bit about storage. There are 3 types of storage here. When you click storage, you're going to see your Sunstar storage, which is company-wide. You're going to see your storage. This is just for you. Only you have access to my storage. And then office storage, if your office manager uploads something that he's sharing with your office, you will then have access to that folder, things inside of it. All right, so let's talk about these different types of storage. So Coldwell Banker Sunstar Storage, you've got logos in here. I don't think we're using the 90-year logo anymore. You've got kind of a folder on American Home Shield. You have got BlueSync presentation 2018. You've got a copy of the listing presentation there. You've got forms here. You've got Homes for Dogs stuff. You got HUD. You know, you just have a lot of stuff here. I'm not going to go through it all, but you can just see how there's a lot of stuff here. If I go to the listing presentation here, you know, you've got all these listing presentations, things that you can click on and download. So that's all there as well. And this is the blue listing presentation for 2018. This is kind of a big one, blue book. This has, you know, if you're going into a listing presentation, this is really, really cool. You can email this to people because it's a PDF. But basically, this is for any listing that you're going on. You know what, you're going to want to use the black presentation for luxury, right? But this is like everything else. So this kind of shows a really professional look of what our marketing is all about. And again, I'm kind of going through this quickly, and you can just see it has a lot of really, really cool things that convince prospective sellers that we are the company that they should list with. Okay, so there's a lot of pages here that I won't bore you with, but I think there's just a ton of content here that's really, really cool. So this is like brand new. This is something that you should familiarize yourself with. If you're going in to compete with another broker, there is no competition. It's hands down, if you use that, you're going to win the listing. There's no other way about it. And you have to believe that too. So that's company storage. That has all the stuff in it that's access to everybody in the Sunstar region, Florida. And then you have office storage, but I'm going to go into my storage. So my storage is like, let's say that you have documents that you want to have access to buyers. You know, you want to have a flyer that you're adding to a listing. So I can actually add a new folder. Again, this is only accessible to me. Let's just say this is a survey for Punta Gorda, and it's let's just say it's the Hanks property, right? So I copy that, I paste it into this description, I hit save, and now you've created a folder that you can upload a survey to, or anything that you want to. Let's just open it up. Now we're going to upload that survey. I'm going to choose File, and let's just add, let's look for a survey. Okay, I'm going to open up this survey, and we're just going to call this, and then I'm going to enable the URL too. So I'm going to check that box to continue, and now it's uploading the survey. Now the survey is there. And if I want to get URL, if I click this and I copy this link, I can give that link to anybody and they can have that survey. So think about that. You can have inside of your MLS, you can provide a link for the survey. Your MLS probably already has survey links. That's fine. But even if you, let's say that you want to have this survey available for people that visit the property that are on CB Florida Homes. Let's just copy that link. So I'm going to copy it. I'm going to close this out. I'm going to go back to properties. And I'm going to click on a property that I want to add this survey to, that I want people to have access to. So I go into the description down here, and I would just type in, click here for survey. And then I would highlight this, and then I would hit link. There's a little chain link right there, right? Click that, and then paste the URL right there. So you're just going to right click and you're going to paste. Okay, and then you just click OK. Now online on the website, when they see this listing, they're going to have the ability to download that link, that survey. So then I would just hit save. I'm not going to hit save. I'm not going to save this because the survey is not appropriate for Riverside Drive. But that just shows you the power of what you can do with storage. So I'm going to go back to storage, and I'm going to leave so it doesn't save it. And so inside of my storage, you can have as many folders as you need that would have extra information that you can then link so that other people can have access to these different items that we have. So that's really, really, really cool. Again, nobody can see the storage except you because you're in my storage. So remember, there are 3 types of storage. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about blog and why blogging is beneficial. If you blog and you're blogging, when you click it may look a little different than this. You just do a new post and you just type something that's related to what you know about the real estate industry inside of your area. So for example, if I was in Port Charlotte, I would say the title would be Port Charlotte Homes for Sale Sold. Homes for Sale, let's just say, and sold report. Okay, really important that your title is something that's related to real estate. Don't make this about, try to make this that's going to appeal to a mass number of people. Try to make this, when you blog, you don't want to blog like about your listings because then that's kind of on the selfish. It's kind of like Facebook. You want to do something that's going to be beneficial to a wide audience. So when you blog, you're going to want to have like a title like that, and then you're going to want to bring that title into your paragraphs, and then just write about, how many homes for sale in Port Charlotte right now. What's the mix of homes for sale? Is there 300 properties, between 100 and 300? And how many properties are like under contract right now? So let's just say that you have 500 listings that are active inside of your MLS, inside of Port Charlotte. And of those 500, you have 150 that are under contract. That's a huge story. That's something that you really want to write about. And then you can take the difference. So if you have 500 available, you have 150 under contract, that leaves you 350. How long will that 350 last? Well, if the average home is on the market for 4 months, then you're just gonna take that number and divide by 4 months, 350, and you're gonna see that there's not a whole lot of inventory. So that's something that you can write about. So you can blog about that. And so again, blogging is really simple. You can add tags if you want to. You can add a tag that says Port Charlotte Homes for Sale. Add that tag. And then again, write paragraphs about this subject. And then you can just hit save. And then once you hit save, then you can also publish it. You can allow comments. You can post it to your blog. If you do suggest that it go to the company blog, that's going to be reviewed by somebody on the company admin level. They'll make sure that it's appropriate for the company, and then they will approve it. So then we just hit save, and then that's published. So that is blogging. Now, two things about, I want to kind of make the connection between search engine optimization for your website and blogging. Okay, so a lot of people, when they hear about blogging, they don't want to blog. There's just they don't want to take the time. I understand that completely. If you don't want to blog, that's fine. If you do decide to blog, it is going to help you with SEO. It's going to help your search engine optimization. In other words, whatever you write about is going to help you in Google to be found for searches based upon what you write. So the other part of this for what comes to optimization with your website is, I'm kind of jumping back to website, but when you go to Website Builder, which I'm going to jump into this real quick, the content of your homepage, these modules that you add, are very critical to the Googlicious searchability aspect of Google. So if you want to be found in Google for Punta Gorda Isles, or whatever the case may be, it could be Punta Gorda condos, make sure that the content that you write has that inside of it. So just to illustrate how this works is, I'm going to search for Traverse City waterfront. Waterfront homes for sale. I just want to show you that this works. This is not a waste of time. So in this search, you have 800 different websites that are competing for those words, right? That's why you have these companies that are paying $2 a click, $1.50 to $2 per click every time somebody clicks that ad. Zillow even realizes how competitive it is, and they'd have ads there. So right now, what you're going to see here is I'm on page 1, and this is all organic. I don't have to pay a dime. And the reason that I'm on page 1 is because I have written some good blogs, and I've also have content here that's related to Traverse City homes for sale, Traverse City waterfront properties. So even the title, even the title of my page has waterfront homes for sale in it. Okay, so this is like a waterfront search link. Okay, so and all of my paragraphs have stuff about Traverse City real estate, Traverse City waterfront. So these are all things that you're going to make sure that you have in your website to give you the right search engine optimization when people are searching for homes in your given area, and that relate to whatever you specialize in. If you're really into Punta Gorda condos, then you want to have content written on your website that deals with that subject and have it peppered throughout all your paragraphs. So I got off on a little bit of tangent there because blogging, like it or not, it will help you in that optimization. It will help you to be found on Google if you do write some blogs, as I have done. But one of the most important things is your website and what your website content says. That's really going to help you with your search engine optimization. Okay, we're winding down here to getting to your questions in just a second. The last thing that I wanted to touch on here is Resource Center. And Resource Center is basically, it's going to be videos, how-to videos, and a lot of our training that's been recorded for your benefit is right here. Right here, accessible to you 24/7. So this is BlueSync 2018. These are all the BlueSync. If you wonder what BlueSync is, this is like a 5-minute to 15-minute recording of topics. So this is global luxury right here. This is a video about global luxury for 2018. And you could play that video. You could learn about global luxury. This is Blue Book, New Agent Checklist. This is how to CC people inside of Zap. If you want to search for something, you can just search for listing. Then you have everything about listing, listing to leads, listing for sale by owners and expireds, listing presentation, anything that you want to search for, you can do that right there in that search bar. You also have BlueSync 2017, and there's 51 topics because BlueSync is on Thursday. The only Thursday that we missed was Thanksgiving. So every single topic you can think of is right there at your fingertips in 2017. How to create sticky search links. I went over that a little bit earlier. So you can create those links on your website that will get people to a certain search, and then they will be sticky to you as an agent. And I think that pretty much summarizes what Resource Center is. Resource Center is really a place with how-to videos. Anything that you can think of is probably right there. If you find that you have a topic here that you want in Resource Center that's not covered, then just let us know and we'll make a video about it. We'll create a video about that subject. And right now, it's 11:36. I think it's time to ask what questions you might have, so I'm going to look at what questions are there. So right now, if there's any questions you want to type in there. Okay, Becky Borchi asks, you can add lifestyle videos to your homepage through your YouTube module too. That's exactly right. Thank you, Becky. That's a great reminder. You can add those YouTube videos there. In fact, while I'm waiting for other questions, I can show you guys how to do that real quick. You find the lifestyle video on YouTube. Hopefully it's a video that points to our company, or it's a generic video, but you find that video on YouTube. Let's just say, or it could be a video that's on YouTube that's on coldbanker.com too. Lifestyle video Punta Gorda. Let's do a search. Here's a video tour. Now again, I haven't really had time to check this video out, so I'm just doing this to illustrate how to do it. This may not be the right video. So let's just, I'm going to pause it here, and I'm going to hit share. Now you copy this link right here, right? Copy it. You go to your website. So I'm going to go to my website. And then you can go to build your homepage, add a module, and that module could be a YouTube video. So you click YouTube, hit next, and then you add the URL or the title. It's actually Punta Gorda Lifestyle. Then you paste the video inside of this little thing right here. Hit preview. There it is. So then you just click OK. Remember, you click OK, and then what do you click after OK? This is a test. You click OK, and then you click Save. So I'm going to click OK. Then you hit Save right there, and then it's saved. I'm not going to save it because I don't know if she wants it on there, so I'm going to hold off on saving that. But anyway, that's how you add a video. Thank you very much, Becky, for letting us know that. Great. Okay, and Becky says my page has it on beckyborchi.com, so you guys can go to her site and get that video. All right, let's see. Can you add office listings on your website if you, as a new agent, do not have listings? Yes, you can. Terry, that's a great question. Let me show you how to do that. So now you would have to get permission from an agent to allow your listing to be kind of co-shared with them, okay? So you can't duplicate a listing because remember that duplicated content is not allowed on Google, that they will de-index you if you copy like an agent listing and it's the same exact thing and then you're showing it as if it were your listing too, then it becomes a problem with Google. But if you get permission from another agent, then you could do this. Let me go to properties. So let's just say this property right here, which is listed with Ann Schultz, and Ann says, yeah, I'll let someone else display my listing. That's cool. So it's going to be co-listed by someone else. So maybe Nancy Bell. Nancy says, yeah, I'd like to have your listing. Could I show your listing on my site? No problem. So then drop down menu to Nancy Bell. And this would have to be done by an office admin at the office admin level. And then I would hit save. Then that would be shown on Nancy's site. So that's one way to do that. You can also, if you have a listing that you want to display that's not listed, you want to get it up early, as long as you have permission from the seller, you would be able to add it as a new listing early. Okay, can you make property flyers via back office versus Express Doc? That is an awesome question. Yes, you can. Express Docs is probably a better place to go, but you can make property flyers back inside of and we do have some flyers back there. I'd say about 70% of them work right. There's some of them that don't work right. Maybe there's probably more that work right than that. But inside of Marketing Center, and then you would create a property flyer from property promotion, and then you can choose a design. So those are those print flyers that are right there. You just have to take a look at one that you like. Just go ahead and select it, and then it's going to ask you which listing do you want to use. So yes, you can do that, very much so. Any other questions? Okay. I think we got everything covered. Speak now. If you have any other questions, I'll wait for you guys to type anything in. Okay, let's see. Terry has a question. How many emails can be sent out at one time with how many emails can be sent out at one time on the cards? I don't know. We haven't had we've sent out thousands before and not had an issue. So I think the only thing that might happen is if you send out a couple thousand, you're going to have people that are going to think it's spam and they're going to unsubscribe, which is fine. So yeah, you will have a portion of people that do that. As a company, we even have that happen with agents. They get unsubscribed, but they don't really realize what they're unsubscribing to. So yes, we don't know the limit on that. We haven't really run into any hiccups. Okay, greeting cards. Yes, you can do that. It's as far as we know, it's like unlimited. You have to be wary though if you send out, be careful with lists today, because sometimes you'll find a list online that's like, let's just say it's 5,000 email addresses of people that live in Punta Gorda. Your email provider could get shut down because if you send out something that's unsolicited. So just be careful with the list that you get, because we've run into issues with that, and we don't want to see that happen to you guys. We've made those mistakes. So just be real careful with whatever list you get that they've either opted in to getting emails from you, or that the list is going to be okay to send out to. Okay, no. Are we covering CB Exchange today? No, but we will cover CB Exchange. That is covered. CB Exchange is covered on the 19th and the 20th. Very, very excellent question. Thank you. Okay, does the CB Florida Homes website sync with Zap website, or are they two separate entities? And is there a way to sync changes in one with the other? Man, that's a question that I wish the answer was yes to. They are two separate entities. They don't talk to one another. It's not because they're mad at each other. It's just that they're two separate platforms. It's kind of like in the old days if you had two separate newspapers. You had the Florida Times, and then you had the Charlotte, Port Charlotte Times. They're just two separate entities that you want to advertise in both, but they don't talk to each other because they're kind of separate. Um, awesome question. Wish there was a better answer. But one thing that you could do is copy and paste into these, different sites. That's what I've done. It's pretty fast, and once you get it done, it's done. Does that answer the question, Thomas? Or if there's anyone else that has a question? You guys have really asked some awesome questions today. I'm really impressed. And it sounds like you guys have a handle on how a lot of these tools work, so I really appreciate that. Okay, I think we're going to just close it down for today. Again, tomorrow we're going to do the same thing at 2 p.m. So if you want to join us again, you're welcome to do that. Terry, thank you very much. Appreciate your comment there. Again, thank all of you guys for your time today. I know time is important. You guys are in the middle of your season, and I really know that it's valuable, so we wanted to keep this as lively as possible. So really appreciate all you guys that bought out time for this. You're sharpening your axe by taking a little bit of training. I mean, we all know that illustration. You can go chop wood all day long, but the guy that sharpens his axe is going to be better because of it. And so likewise, I think that's what we're doing today. Really appreciate you guys doing this. It is huge. Very good. I know we covered a lot today. Again, don't be overwhelmed by it. We're going to be covering it again. We're recording this webinar, so it's all good. We're all good. So again, thank you guys so much. And would be interested in more information about blogging and how to get material for a future webcast. I'll keep that in mind, Thomas. That's a great question. It really is unique. Blogging is so unique. It's like an art and a science at the same time. So we will get into that for sure. Cool. All right. Well, this closes out our webinar. Thank you guys very much, and have a great rest of your week. And we'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. If you want to join us again, it'll be the same material. So if you think you've heard enough for now, that's fine too. But again, we also have this recorded, so it'll be in the online office probably at the end of the afternoon. Great. You guys have a great day, and again, so much appreciate all that you do, and look forward to seeing you guys in the future.